Hi, this is just a continuation of the part 1 of my story. This is part 2. Hopefully this works. I just recorded a video and didn't have the sound activated, so the video looks really crappy too. Okay, I'll just do a short one and see how it goes. So yeah, I haven't touched marijuana. Well, at this point, I hadn't touched marijuana since August 28th, 1995, because the high from marijuana that day never subsided. This had never happened to me in the past. I'd never felt panicky or paranoid even, like some people do when they're high. Some people have highs that last longer than a day, but they go away eventually, and this had never happened to me before. I was partially in denial about what was happening to me. I tried to pretend like everything was okay, despite the fact that I was extremely scared. I did ask my friends I had smoked with that day if they still felt high a few days after. They said no, and that they'd never experienced anything out of the ordinary during their high. When I told them I still felt high, they laughed at me and said that it wasn't possible. The only thing I could do was wait for it to go away, but it never did. It just simply persisted for days and days, and this was the beginning of my nightmare. As you will see, it wasn't a good high after that. Every day I felt as though I was in a dream. Nothing seemed real. I felt like life wasn't happening, like I was in a completely different state of consciousness. My vision was distorted. Objects appeared two-dimensional and fake. It was as though I was looking through a fishbowl full of water that had been stuck on my head. I would experience numerous perceived time lapses each day where it felt like minutes had gone by and I did not know what had happened during that time. The crispness and attached emotions of being alive and in reality were gone. I felt drugged, sluggish, and like a zombie, as though half my brain would be removed, just cut out. I was a robot, just going through the motions, trying to stay alive. I would easily get distorted, feeling like I'd been spun around in busy places, like the mall. Flipping through clothes hanging on a rack in a store would actually throw off my balance, and as would a few strands of hair in my face, over my eyes. As I would turn my head from side to side, it would take a few seconds for my vision and my brain to come together. I was totally ungrounded and developed a somatoform disorder, which is physical symptoms which are linked to stress. So it's your body's way of expressing that stress in a physical form, mental stress. So actually some people even have seizures from stress. It's very interesting. I developed constant dull headaches and muscle tension at the base of my skull. I felt the pressure inside my head, especially behind my eyes. I developed muscle twitches at the base of my skull that would turn my head slightly side to side. On top of this, I developed major insomnia. When trying to sleep, my brain would be on overdrive, bombarding me with thoughts that didn't even make sense. I wasn't worrying, they're just random thoughts, sometimes random stories. Just overactive. In high school, I would go days without sleep. I began using earplugs to study and sleep. Also, my ears felt crackly inside, like tearing Velcro. And I also felt like they would never clear. They were just full of fluid or something. But of course they weren't. Feelings of confusion were common. It was as though my thought process, or during my thought process, my thoughts would bump into each other and get all tangled up. In situations where there was a lot going on around me, like in the mall or in the school hallway, I had the most difficult time carrying on a conversation with people. I could not hear well, even if they were a foot away from me. I have had my ears tested and they're fine. It was the filtering out background noise that I couldn't do. All the noises just sort of blurred together. I also had a really hard time forming sentences and words, even, and finding words to use, and even hearing what I was saying. Sometimes I wasn't sure whether I had spoken or not. I couldn't filter out unnecessary visual or auditory stimuli. I always felt like I needed to lie down because I had the sensation I wasn't getting enough blood flow to my brain. It's a very odd feeling. I had a hard time sitting because my neck was just so uncomfortable and fatigued. in restaurants, my anxiety sort of sometimes became paralyzing. I couldn't lift a cup from off the table to my mouth to take a drink. This also happened if I was getting groceries and I was standing in line and I had to get into my wallet to get my money to pay. Sometimes I just literally couldn't move. Also, I would stare a lot. Like a lot. Just stare off into space. I still do. I also got startled and easily, and I am very clumsy. Yeah, my social anxiety was very high. I began to feel like people were watching me, talking about me, and laughing at me, even though I knew that they weren't. But it was still very troublesome. The most bizarre symptom I had to be that others may be able to hear my thoughts. But I had such good insight into my symptoms that I never actually believed people could hear my thoughts. But I always wondered if it was possible, because my thoughts just seemed so loud in my head. And sometimes, like I said, I wasn't sure if I thought them or spoken them. Things were just very confusing. I'm going to cut this off here for now and try and upload this and continue later. Thank you.